Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Most disappointing sports performance, and did you learn anything from it which has made you better athlete now?
I didn't. Most disappointing performance. I think every ride that I don't complete, or if it's not basis the plan that I've been given by you, and if I'm not completing it, it feels disappointing. It feels like I'm not doing what I'm supposed to be doing. But if I have to look at one individual performance, I think I would say my Asian Para Games race, the road race specifically, more than the time trial race. It was a 76-kilometer race around one of these circuits in Jakarta, ahead of Jakarta. It was a slow race to begin with. I didn't have much of road race understanding, how the strategy works, how other people play mental games, and how they suddenly sprint and then they stop and then sprint and then they slow down to just tire down other people. I was just focusing on improving my performance, and I was also riding indoors more than I was riding outdoors because of the city I was in, and it only supported rides say 2-3 hours in the morning, and that's all I could get in because after that I had to get to work. So while balancing all of this, I could only take out as much time as I could indoors, and while I'm riding indoors, I cannot have a lot of this road race kind of an experience. The only thing I knew was from conversations with Siddharth and through YouTube videos, GCN videos, and the road races that I would watch on like Tour de France and all these proper games. All I knew back then was, okay, I just need to hold someone's wheel and just pace it out, see how it pans out, and then figure it out towards the end. But little did I know that I was starting, because I was chasing every breakthrough. Every break I was running behind them, and I was usually the last person to catch up because I couldn't sprint that well. Also, I was riding on borrowed wheels, so I didn't have much experience on those wheels. And I didn't have my prosthetic then. It's after the race that I realized that I really need to buy a prosthetic, and I need to because it helps me balance the weight on both the sides. Up until then, I was only using my left arm to ride, so I had my entire body weight on the left arm, and while doing that I had to take the left turns and right bends and all, so it became really difficult. So say around the last lap or so is when the entire bunch sprint happened together, and somewhere I knew that, okay, if it actually ends up in a bunch sprint, I don't know if I'll be able to outpace these guys because I don't have much experience on the bunch sprint either. So, and that's what happened. Like on the last lap, everybody just went all out together, while I was trying to go all out, and I couldn't even get out of the saddle because my legs were sore, and I had I was getting cramps on my right leg. I couldn't balance well, and I finished last, and I think I was utterly disappointed. But at least I decided not to give up on the sport because a lot of conversations were going on in my mind that it's done, finish it off, like you lost the race, you came last, you don't deserve to be here, you already won 2 silvers, it's enough to prove a point or whatever I had to, so just let it go now, just enjoy your life, do your work and be happy. So that's one big thing that I realized, that I had to put myself, or I had to go through this kind of a loss to realize that how strong I am and how committed I am to the sport to, come back stronger, make those adjustments required, do more training, do whatever is required to, not let that happen again. Right? That I think would be my worst performance. Started riding in Bangalore sometime in 2016. That's when I got my first bike. I was riding solo for most of the parts in the beginning until I found on Facebook this group called Cadence 90. And I started doing these weekend rides with them to Harohalli and all, just for coffee, idli. So they were short 30-40 kilometer rides where I was still exploring this whole sport, understanding what the equipment is, how to ride, what kind of positions are there, what different types of bikes are there. But none of them were like professional, or they weren't racing as such, while I was trying to explore myself on the racing side where I wanted to do more with the sport. So I knew that, okay, I need to move teams, I need to know more. And that's when I got in touch with Sudeep. Sudeep was my colleague back then, and he used to cycle a lot at InMobi. And I got in touch with him, and he got me in touch with Siddharth. And that's when we started training together. He started coaching me, and then I got into Veloscope's team. And that's when I finally got to be a part of a proper racing team. I had seen Veloscope perform once. This was one of the bar TT races, or BBCH TT races from OMR, and I was on my hybrid then, and I remember beating three of Veloscope guys on a road bike. So that's when I thought like, okay, I can be a part of this team. I can be the best performer in this team. Let's get in and let's do this. Got in touch with Siddharth. Siddharth got me into the team and then started doing a lot of these group rides together on the highway. And that's when I actually did proper, drafting rides and learning how to shuffle. What are they called? The ones where you go in circular motion, right? When you're drafting and your turn change, and you change your turn, someone else comes forward and then you go back. The rotation ones. Echelon. Oof. Yeah. See, I don't get to do a lot of that in Calcutta. That's what I miss Bangalore. And that's where I learned a lot, like how to corner, and we did a lot of cornering exercises on the hills when we did a Ooty ride. And that's when I think my confidence on turns increased, because up until then I would brake quite a bit, but then I realized, okay, the tires are really good and they have good traction. I could bend way lower. We did a lot of cornering techniques in the city, a lot of sprint and catching each other up. So when you're riding in a team, basically there's a lot of peer-to-peer learning. Also, there's a very healthy competition amongst each other, so you always want to perform better so that you are always, one of the good riders in the team where the team can rely on you. So that's where I think riding in a team helps quite a bit, to know about the discipline, to know about riding ethics, also to help each other out, to hold on to someone's wheel, or to help someone, make them hold on to your wheel and chase them back to the peloton or something like that. So it's quite helpful, and I would recommend everybody to be a part of a proper racing team if they want to grow in this sport. Boom, done. Next question.
How's an athlete's public image important today? And in addition to that, what do you think of social media influencer athletes?
So, okay, I'll take this in two parts, okay? One is athletes' public image. Now, I face this issue as well at times. Maybe it's not that big, but in my mind, I've made it too big. That I have to be someone that the world needs to see me as. Like, I need to be the athlete. So I cannot be seen having burgers. I cannot be seen drinking a lot of alcohol in parties, because, hey, Divij is a cyclist, right? How come you're doing this? You're supposed to wake up, you're representing the country. How can you do this? So somewhere, the athlete needs to know the fine line between, Divij as an athlete and Divij as a normal person. And that line needs to be maintained somewhere. It gets blurred here and there, but at least there needs to be some distinction that, okay, that life is different, so you need to pursue the training life as and when that demands. And then you have your personal life, and that needs to go on the way it is supposed to, and you don't jumble the two of them, because then it's chaos everywhere. Am I making sense? It's not, yeah? Okay. That, I think, is the public image. Now that everybody finds their own boundaries in places. Like, I find my boundary where I give myself 1 day a week, where I let out, I party, I let my hair down, though I'm bald, but yeah. And I party, I chill, I drink, I go out with my friends, I indulge in whatever fried food I have to, but I give myself that 1 day. But rest of the 6 days a week, I am all out. I'm training completely all in, and I make sure that I'm not doing anything that I'm not supposed to be doing, which will hamper my performance the next day, right? So everybody needs to build their own rules, own boundaries, and if they stick to it, I think they will do a good job with not mixing things together. Talking about social media, tricky. I am on social media purely from the lens of, though I don't have that much of a following. I'm trying hard, but apparently it's difficult. I was told that once I become an athlete, once I represent the country, once I win a silver medal, everything will be amazing, brands will come in, money will come in, and I don't have to worry about anything. 6 years in, I'm still doing a full-time job, and I'm riding, and I have no brand sponsor. I had to make career changes to support and to build my finances to a level where I could support my own sport and support my own ambition and goal, right? So I thought Facebook, Instagram, all these social media portals, if I keep posting, if I keep doing things, followers would increase, and I would get brands come in, and I would get money, and I don't have to worry about anything else. Reality is, it's not that easy. So when someone's posting a lot, I feel that you need to show off a lot. You need to be someone that you're not, in order for others to accept you and then follow you and pay you for that, which I don't think I can align to that, and that's not me, because I'm not being myself if I'm posting things just to get money or just to get some financial support from others and then be someone's slave. That's why I decided to not take that route and just let it be as organic as it can be. Post whatever I like to, post things with my friends and family and while I'm training and all, but not to be 100% on that part. Yes, so I am working very closely with Aditya Mehta Foundation. They are based out of Hyderabad, and what they do is they support me as well. They reach out to differently abled civilians and armed force personnel like say BSF, CRPF, ITBP, CISF and all the Jawans over there, whoever were at the borders. They would have met up with some accident, IED blast, and they lost their limbs, eyesight, legs. They recruit them and then they train them. The foundation supports them to pick up any sport, try out all different sports, pick up any sport whichever they feel they're more confident and comfortable with, and then the foundation supports them with equipment, with training, with finances and any opportunity, right, to represent the country. So basically building the person up again, bringing that confidence in their life again and giving them that second chance instead of being on a desk job after returning from the borders and their amputation. They are given that second chance to do something for the country again, and that's something that I'm supporting, and I'm working with the foundation on that.
Message for the viewers?
Gyan. Any message for the viewers? I would highly appreciate if everybody drives in one straight line. Please follow lane discipline. Don't run over cyclists and don't honk behind us. And my message mainly is that if you are out there, if you're trying to do something different, don't be scared. Things might be very difficult initially. You might not get the right kind of support that you require. Your goals might not be clear, but at least you have your heart in the right place and you know what you want to do or whatever makes you happy. So just go out, keep digging in, keep putting in a little bit of extra effort here and there. Things will turn up, because when your motives are right, life gives you those opportunities to perform and to reach that goal, those short-term goals or the long-term goals. So keep working towards those and just don't give up. A motto that I live by is it doesn't matter what you don't have, the only thing that matters is what you have and what you can do with it. So you have whatever you require to achieve whatever that is that you're looking out for. Cheers, enjoy.